Anastasia Island is a barrier island located just off the Intercoastal Waterway from St Augustine, Florida. Part of the island is within the St Augustine city limits, while other parts are not. There are many things to see on the island, such as Fort Montanus National Monument, Anastasia State Park, abundant wildlife, and of course, the famous and notoriously haunted St Augustine Lighthouse. Come along with us as we show you just a few of these landmarks that we were able to visit during our last venture to St Augustine and Anastasia Island, Florida. All across this land are beautiful sights to behold, history to uncover, and places to explore. Colorado Martini has been lucky enough to travel across the countryside to see some of these wondrous sights. This is Colorado Martini on the road. Let's start our journey on the island at the Anastasia State Park. The state park is more than 1,600 acres of unspoiled white sand beaches, tidal marshes, and ancient sand dunes. It is also the home of the historical Coquina Quarry, which is an archaeological site where the sedimentary rock made of little seashells was mined to help construct the nearby Castillo de San Marcos Fort in downtown St. Augustine. Make sure to check out our video on the Castillo. So this is a Coquina. So this is Anastasia State Beach. This is really nice. All of these are sand dunes. They're what's called ancient sand dunes. And the reason they're called ancient sand dunes is because of all the growth on them, they don't move anymore. So they're not active sand dunes anymore. This right here is the beach where there's the sand dunes that are active. So we're going to go take a look at that in just a second. But also you can get food, and they have shaded areas. There's a lot of places to have picnics, and it's really nice. And it costs about $8 for us to get in here, and there is camping and RV camping. So the sand is so white, and there's no dogs allowed on this beach. There's a lot of nesting birds on this beach, so be very careful. You're supposed to stay off the sand dunes, especially, birds, seabirds, they like to nest back in here. It's protected from the weather and stuff. There's a lot of little lookouts you can walk out on, but it's beautiful beach. So they have these different warning flags depending on what the weather is, but the purple flag is dangerous marine life, like sharks, so be on the lookout for that when you come out here. So like today is a high hazard, and that means high surf and strong currents. So let's go take a look at what that's all about. It's nice. They have this kind of, it's just like a material to walk out on, which makes it really nice. You can get a wheelchair out here to a certain point. So one of the main reasons you can't have dogs is because of the nesting birds. And going back to, oh, look at the pelicans. There's a lot of pelicans around St. Augustine. Very nice. The sand is very, very coarse with shell. So make sure you have, some good, go-aheads. That's what we call them where I come from. Flip-flops. When you come out here, because these little shells are sharp on the feet. So this is the end of this cloth path, so you can get a wheelchair out to this point. That's pretty far out. The current St. Augustine Lighthouse stands at the north end of Anastasia Island and was built between 1871 and 1874. It is not the first, but is definitely the most famous. The St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum stands 165 feet above sea level and overlooks the bay and the Atlantic Ocean from Anastasia Island. Visitors can climb to the top for a spectacular view of St. Augustine and the ocean. You can also explore the many exhibits in the keeper's house, stroll the grounds, and enjoy a guided tour. There is even an evening ghost tour that is extremely popular. So we're walking up the path that's going to take us up to the lighthouse. So you pay your fee and you're able to climb all the way to the top. It gets crowded up there. Since I've been here, there's been a lot of people up there, but it's a lot of steps, and they're pretty steep steps too. So if you have any problems with vertigo or breathing problems, I don't advise it. But there are a lot of other things to see. There's all these other buildings that you can go through. The Innkeeper's Inn, which is right here, that you can go through. And the grounds are really pretty to have a picnic on. What I expected, though, to come up here is to be able to see the ocean from here, but there's just too much foliage. So there's 219 steps to the top. So can you do it? That's a lot of steps. Can you imagine carrying that oil all the way up? You'd have to take it all the way up to light the light. So across from the lighthouse is the innkeeper's house. Here's the lighthouse. They're just really nice grounds. So this is one of the most haunted locations in the nation, the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Ghost hunters caught some of the best paranormal footage I've ever seen. A spirit was looking over the edge there, and it was amazing. If you've never seen that Ghost Hunters episode, you definitely need to check it out. So you had to carry this all the way up those stairs. the oil. This is all the oil for the lighting.
Oh yeah, compared to your luggage, that's light.
Yeah. You had to carry it up those spiral stairs. It's the glass for the lenses.
I used to have one of those.
All the repair. So did my grandpa. My grandpa used to have one of those.
You tighten the chuck around the bit.
Yeah, my grandpa had one. It's a light keeper's uniform. So it's a long way up to climb up there. But there are places to sit as you go up. So there's Mr. Martini waving at us. He took my telephoto lens, so I can't even get a picture of him close up there. I'm bummed. I would have liked to have gotten that. Oh. See his bald head up there? Ooh, in the sun it is miserable. So that's the privy, better known as the bathroom. And then I guess there was another privy over here. Pretty cool. So I learned something about the color. Every lighthouse in the world has its own distinctive color and pattern. So the people out in the ocean knew where they were. So they had like a book that told them what the color to look for in the pattern in a lighthouse, and it told them exactly where they were. And that was called the day marker. The night marker was how the light shine. So maybe it was a 30-second flash, or it rotated a certain way, or it had like a bullseye in it. So every lighthouse has its own day and night marker, which I just found fascinating. And that's why this was black and white like a barber's pole, because it marked St. Augustine. Black and white are used the most when it comes to day colors because they resist sun exposure the best. But there are lighthouses that exist that are red and white, and that's because those are snow states. And the red and white show up best against the snow. There is so much more to see and do on Anastasia Island than we had time for. But what we did see was well worth the visit.